I watched a buyer fall in love with a spotless car until the tires told a different story. Feathered inner edges, 2 different brands, and a spare that didn't fit. The mechanic didn't even start the engine. He walked away. In this video, I'll teach you his 5-minute routine, what tread wear means, how alignment lies show up, and the quick checks that reveal crash repairs you won't see on glossy photos. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. What could make a mechanic refuse a test drive within 60 seconds? The sidewalls and the edges of the tread. Start with the car cold, in daylight, on level ground, and keep the engine off. Don't admire the paint or the interior. Walk straight to the tires and get your eyes level with the rubber. Read the sidewalls for cuts, bulges, and cracks. Then scan the inner and outer edges of the tread. You're looking for patterns, not just depth. This is where the car's story starts telling on itself. The seller says, new tires, fresh alignment, but you spot 2 brands up front and a fuzzed sawtooth feel on the inner edges. That mismatch plus feathering isn't cosmetic. It signals geometry the alignment rack couldn't lock down, or parts that can't hold spec once you leave the shop. Now the clock is ticking in your favor. Here's a real-world snapshot. A 3-year-old sedan with 38,000 miles rolls up, supposedly a highway commuter. The fronts show cords peeking on the inner edge. The rest of the tread looks decent, which makes that inner strip even louder. That kind of concentrated wear points to the wheel leaning in at the top, or a toe angle scraping the rubber sideways mile after mile. Feathering and cupping usually trace back to toe misalignment or tired control arm bushings that let the wheel toe out under load. Inner edge bias hints at excessive negative camber, or a bent mounting point that tilts the assembly. If one side looks worse than the other, think sub-frame shift, or a strut that took a hit. Tires act like an EKG. Uniform wear is a steady heartbeat. Cupping across blocks is an arrhythmia. The rhythm tells you where to look next. Mismatched brands on the same axle create their own noise. Different tread compounds and constructions pull at different rates. Sellers in a rush sometimes rotate odd pairs to dampen a drift you'd notice on a match set. You can catch that move before even rolling. Note the brand and model molded on each tire. If the fronts don't match each other, that's a flag. Now check date codes. Find the DOT stamp and read the last 4 digits for week and year. New tires that predate the car's last registration by years are shop leftovers or swapped takeoffs. Pop the trunk. Verify the spare size and offset. And test fit the jack and tools. A spare that won't clear the caliper, or a jack that doesn't mate to the pinch weld, suggests parts from a different trim, or a donor after a curb strike. Fresh overspray on a wheel well liner next to odd tire wear ties the story together. Here's the quick payoff. Feathering plus mismatched fronts and a wrong spare means alignment suspension damage is likely. And you can walk before paying for a pre-purchase inspection. Now that you know where to look, let's decode what each wear pattern actually means. If the tread looks fine at a glance, what micro patterns give away a bent chassis? You read the texture, not the shine. 3 clues do most of the heavy lifting: feathering, inner edge camber wear, and scalloping, also called cupping. Each points to a different weak link, and each tells you whether an alignment can fix it or if you're staring at parts and labor. Sellers love to say it just needs alignment, but some patterns don't change until you replace the components that keep alignment in place. Start with feathering. When tread blocks feel sharp on one side and beveled on the other, the car has been scrubbing the road at an angle. If both front tires show the same sawtooth, you're likely dealing with chronic toe out from worn tie rods or sloppy steering links. An alignment might look fine on paper for a week, then drift as soon as those joints flex under load. Until you replace the worn parts, the settings won't hold, and the edges will keep shaving down. Next, study the inner edges. If one front tire is burning through the inside faster than its mate, that asymmetry raises the stakes. Excessive negative camber on one corner often traces back to a bent strut, a tweaked knuckle, or a subframe that shifted after a curb kiss or an unreported crash. That's not a wrench-and-go alignment issue. That's measuring mounting points, checking camber bolts, and sometimes straightening or replacing metal to get geometry back where it belongs. Now look for scalloping. Those alternating dips across the tread aren't from a toe setting. They come from a wheel bouncing because shocks or struts can't keep the tire planted. You'll feel it as a hum that grows with speed and sometimes a drumming through the seat. If you see cupping, budget for dampers, mounts, and likely new tires, because the contact patch has been hammering the same spots for miles. There are normal tells too. Wear concentrated in the center usually means overinflation, edges wearing faster than the middle points to chronic underinflation. Those are maintenance problems and easy to correct, but they shouldn't mask structural clues. If the center is even yet one inner strip is razor thin, inflation wasn't the culprit. Use a quick fingertip test. Slide your hand across each tread block from the inside to the outside, then back the other way. If it feels rough like tiny steps in one direction and smooth in the other, that's feathering, and it confirms a toe issue without any tools. Uneven patterns aren't just cosmetic. They flag control arms with loose bushings, tired ball joints, bent subframes, and steering gear that won't stay true. Costs add up fast when you factor parts, labor, alignment, and a new set of tires that will otherwise wear out again. You can also read driving habits, aggressive, abused, or babied, right off the rubber. Can you tell if a car was thrashed without starting it? Yes, by the shoulders and edges. Tires store stress. They log how hard the last owner braked, turned, and launched. If you read those margins, you'll hear the part of the story the paint tries to hide. Start with the shoulders. Heavy outer shoulder wear on the front tires with edges that look smeared or slightly melted points to frequent hard cornering. The rubber overheats at the contact patch, shears at the block edges, and rounds off the shoulder instead of wearing flat. That's the footprint of someone leaning on the front end again and again, loading the outside tire through turns until it gives up grip. You'll often see tiny frayed whiskers of rubber near the blocks where the heat tore them loose. Heat cycling leaves a different signature. Repeated hot laps or long spirited drives bake the compound. Over time, the rubber hardens and develops micro cracks between blocks and along sipes. Tread depth may measure fine, yet the tire feels glassy and chalky, with less bite at the same pressures. Grip falls off, especially in cooler weather, because the compound can't wake up like it did when new. That hardened feel is a quiet warning that the tire is past its best, even if it doesn't look bald. Flat spotting gives you a rhythm. After a panic stop or parking right after hard braking, the tire cools with a flat section. On the next drive, the car thumps at low speed and hums at higher speed in a steady beat. Roll your palm around the circumference, and you'll feel the flat area as a sudden change, usually on the fronts where most braking load lives. Drivetrain layout adds clues. On front-wheel drive cars, uneven wear at the rears can flag skipped rotations because the fronts did the pulling and never shared the load. The rears then develop odd patterns and stay there, telegraphing neglect. On rear-wheel drive cars, excessive center wear at the back often means burnouts or chronic overinflation. The tire crowns, the center touches more than the shoulders, and acceleration heat cooks that strip faster. Now check the mix. Ultra-high performance fronts paired with touring rears say the owner chased front-end grip, wore those out first, and replaced only the pair. That patchwork set can also show up after hard use when one axle needed tires mid-season. Brand and model mismatch front to rear upsets balance and hints that the car lived at the limit more than once. When you see burned shoulders, micro-chunking where small bits break off the tread, or blistered centers, you're looking at aggressive use or outright abuse. Price it like it needs 4 quality tires, fresh dampers, and a full alignment. Once the tires speak, confirm the story under the car and at the alignment points. What proves the tire story without a lift? 3 quick checks at ground level. You can verify what the tread hinted at in under 2 minutes if you know exactly where to look and what each clue means for the chassis underneath. Kneel by each front wheel and scan the inside tread edges with a flashlight. That's where alignment problems hide. While you're down there, sweep your eyes around the wheel well for fresh overspray on liners or rubber seals. Paint where it doesn't belong suggests panel work. Then peer behind the wheel at the suspension. CV boots, ball joint boots, and strut bodies. Torn boots fling grease, and damp struts point to leaks. Any oily residue on the arm or knuckle is another tell that maintenance is overdue. Now the tension check. The seller says it has a recent alignment and new control arms, but you're staring at cracked CV boots, grease spatter on the knuckle, and a subframe that's oddly glossy. Fresh paint on a structural piece next to worn rubber isn't harmony. It's a mismatch that hints at repairs focused on appearance more than integrity. Here's a clean example. You see fresh undercoating brushed over surface rust near the pinch welds, and the front tires wear dead straight across except for a razor-thin inner strip. That combo suggests metal got tweaked and then covered up. Pinch welds take hits and impacts, and improper jacking. Coating over rust, there is a common way to quiet a story the metal would otherwise tell.